it's that time again for the Spinner Rack presented by Comics Remixed, the Lockup.
We need like a sound effect in there, like the Joe.
We do. Right?
Get on that.
It's episode 5. I'm your host, Big B Brian Adams. My co-host,
Junior Ruiz.
It's time to talk some wrestling.
Or like my kid says, Ruiz.
Ruiz? Yeah.
She just lately started pronouncing it the right way.
So, you said something about, you brought up to me Undertaker's contract is up.
Yeah, I was reading online that they said his contract is set to expire pretty soon. And they said that it's pretty much, that he's going to stay with the company. But it's not, like, obviously in an active role, or I couldn't even say an active role because the guy's there once a year.
Yeah.
But not in he wouldn't be getting the same kind of contract. He'd get, like, a Legends contract, but on, like, steroids, I guess. Like, something, they didn't officially say, give detail, but they would say it's something above, like, a Legends contract. Kind of deal, like, souped up version.
Right.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, why would he?
That dude's, like, nah. You imagine Undertaker on commentary?
No, I couldn't, actually.
And then they put him on, like, SmackDown commentary.
Undertaker is one of those wrestlers that's never, like, been really vocal, It's hard to see him. It would be hard to see him in the role of commentator. Because I don't even really remember what the fuck he sounds like.
Speaking of Undertaker, dude, I'm kind of saddened that I probably will not be able to attend Wizard World this year.
Oh, no?
I tried to take the days off, and there was already 2 people off that weekend. Saturday might be easy because I can just swap it out, but Thursday and Friday, I was like, man.
Well, I heard that they're, like, totally mega expensive to get signings with these people this year at Wizard World. Or to buy the pass, I should say.
Yes and no. Okay, with Taker, the photo op is $90.
Well, that's not too bad.
It's not too bad considering that Norman Reedus is like $100 usually. Some of the huge Stanley's like $80 to $100. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's the Undertaker.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
So, okay, $90 for the photo op. But you can't get an autograph. You have to buy the VIP pass to get the autograph. But they also have Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Paige, and Sting in full makeup. And I'm like, man, that's, and you can buy the photo ops and the autos from all of those guys. So I was doing the math, and I'm like, okay, I think for everybody I wanted, the photo op and autograph. Because what I do with these wrestlers, I would like to get the photo op with them, and then you sign the photo. It's more personal that way.
Yeah, totally.
So I was going to do it for Orton, Bryan, the photo with Taker, and Sting. I wasn't going to do Paige because I met her last year. Unless I really stare at that photo, I'm like, you know what? I need to do it over. But then what am I going to do with 2 pictures of Paige, both autographed, So I think I added that up and it came out to like $425. And then they have what they call the Platinum Pass, which gets you into Wizard World all 4 days. And it gets you the photo ops and the autographs from all of them, Taker included. And that was like $600.
Damn.
Yeah, so you're paying, your $100 and something to get in all weekend, and you're also paying whatever's left over out of there for the Taker autograph. I can't do that. And that was an option for like 5 minutes, only because I said, well, wait a minute, press badge. Why am I gonna spend that extra money for a platinum pass, which also factors in the cost of getting into the con? I don't need that, But now, like I said, I didn't get the time off from work. Well, it's not 100% yet. They're just like, you can talk to somebody and see, what you can do. You just need somebody to cover your route. So who knows? But I probably won't do it.
It's funny that you mentioned Sting because on Facebook earlier I saw a picture of Stephen Amell, Arrow.
Yeah.
At a con with Sting.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like, when the hell is Raw going to jump on getting that dude on Monday Night Raw?
He's dying to host one. He wants to do it. He wants to be a part of it, Like, this guy's got a lot of star power.
Right?
Why wouldn't, say Marvel, why wouldn't WWE want to tap into that?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like, he's a huge fan. I mean, you've had less successful people.
Right?
Dude, you had Kevin Federline, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
In a match. But you can't bring somebody like Stephen Amell,
right?
Who is a diehard fan. He's very vocal about it. You know, like, come on, man.
Like one of the coolest guys in the entertainment world.
Yeah, and the guy's athletic.
Yeah, totally.
Know? So it's like, why not? Maybe they look because he's not that big of a name yet. Maybe once he does a movie. Like, I don't know what it is, but that
but
I totally
had
agree.
Jerry Springer on.
Yeah, well, you can go up to an average person and be like, Jerry Springer. They know who you're talking about. Stephen Amell. What?
Yeah, true that.
So I think that has to do with it. But man, I think they're wasting it by not having him on there. They really are. That's a lot of cross promotion too.
You know what? I think WWE fails to realize the crossover there between the comic book fans and the wrestling fans, and that's something they need to hop on.
Yeah,
like get on that, man. I was watching WWE Network. Speaking of comic books and the crossover, Corey Graves has a new show.
I saw that he has a show. I haven't watched it though.
I wouldn't even really call it a show because it was really only like 10 or 15 minutes.
He's got a segment.
Yeah, a segment, and he goes and does stuff like that. He went to I don't think he went to a comic book. He went to Marvel Comics headquarters.
Okay.
The first one I saw. And then he went to Star Wars Celebration.
Okay, why? Is there a reason?
I have no idea. I'm assuming that, since Corey Graves had to semi-retire from wrestling due to injuries,
yeah,
and that WWE apparently likes Corey Graves enough that they gave him, at the time, a 2-year contract as a commentator, that he is obviously like, hey, you know what, I'm a big fan of this stuff. There's a crossover here. Why don't you guys give me an opportunity to do this? And, content is king, right?
Yeah.
WWE needs some content.
It's true.
I mean, the network really doesn't have a whole lot going for it outside
and it gives it a different spin.
Yeah.
In terms of something other than wrestling related. It's a wrestling network, but I see what you mean.
So it's interesting. And speaking of WWE Network and NXT and Corey Graves, ESPN has this E60. It's a documentary series, and Tuesday night last week they had a spotlight on NXT. That followed Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm like blanking. Adam Rose and Corey Graves.
Okay.
And it was really interesting to see a little behind the scenes. You get to see a little behind the scenes of NXT with the corporate guys, and they're sitting around the table talking about people, and it's just funny to me, especially when it comes to Adam Rose, Ray Lapon. He was previously, as wrestling fans know, oh my God, now
Leo
I'm
Kruger.
blanking. Leo Kruger, thank you. I cannot tell you how much I loved that character. I thought he was amazing. I heard these damn executives in WWE talk about how they felt like that Ray is too much of a nice guy for him to be as Leo Kruger, to be a believable character, and that, it was going over with the live audience, but they didn't feel like it was going over with the taped audience. I think that's bullshit. I think that those fucking old dudes are so out of touch with their product that they don't even know, okay? You've now pigeonholed this guy into a horrible character when he had, Leo Kruger could have been great in WWE. WWE needs more Leo Kruger. You need someone crazy and a little unhinged. That character's missing. I mean, you get it in Dean Ambrose, but it's not the same. Because Dean Ambrose is kind of just like a joke.
Right.
Not that I don't like Dean Ambrose. Actually, to my fiance's chagrin, Dean Ambrose is my favorite member of the Shield. She hates Dean Ambrose.
Really?
She thinks he's scuzzy looking. For her, it's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins.
When they were the
Ambrose.
Shield, I thought Rollins was like the quiet badass, but
Right.
I always thought the star in that fucking group was Seth Rollins. You could just tell.
Yeah.
You just knew it was going to be Seth Rollins.
Oh, really? See, I always felt like Roman Reigns was going to be the guy out of that group.
Well, that's what they're trying to make it, dude.
Yeah, it's not working. Seth Rollins has slowly become like one of my
We talked
favorites.
about this before.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where they were building Seth Rollins to be the guy.
It was brilliant.
But focusing it on something else.
It was brilliant. They played that brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of The Shield, but E60, check out that documentary on NXT. It was really cool.
There's a lot of segues we can go.
I know we go back and forth. Ray LaPont, that guy's 35 years old, dude. Yeah. Adam Rose, that seems kind of old to be just breaking into the business.
Well, if you want to talk about ESPN, Michelle Beadle, did you hear about her unfollowing WWE now and not being a fan anymore?
No.
Yeah, because during the Floyd Mayweather thing, she came out and said, she's like, why would people support Floyd Mayweather? He's a domestic abuser. I don't support Mayweather and all this stuff. So they had, like, everybody who spoke out against Mayweather in his private life, they all had their press credentials removed from the match.
Yeah, I read that.
So they got them back, supposedly, because of the backlash of it, at the very last second. And they were like, well, it's too late
it was
now.
too late, yeah.
So Triple H is, a fan and friend of Floyd Mayweather. So, he's like, after the match, he's tweeting, oh, great job, doo-woo-woo. And Michelle Beadle, she's like, if WWE is supposed to be, obviously against anti-bullying and domestic abuse and this and this and that, and they're supposed to stand up for what's right and everything like that, but yet one of their highest...
It's a family show.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of their highest ranked people that represent the company is openly supporting a domestic abuser. Like, that's kind of backwards. So she's like, if they're going to allow Triple H to support him, she's like, I'm no longer a fan of the product. So she's like, sorry, I'm turning in my fan card.
Kudos to her, dude, because, I have absolutely no respect for people that are Mayweather fans for that reason alone.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, dude, and some of the best jokes...
he could fight, but the guy is a really good fighter. Look how much practice he's had beating on these women.
It's someone says that, you don't... The only time you get a good punch out of Mayweather is if you're one of his girlfriends.
Wow.
I've heard a billion jokes like that since the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight.
Let's talk about that fight. Let's talk about that. It's, it's not wrestling related, but there's so much...
That fight is steeped in so much controversy.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
First of all, I'm glad I did not pay the $100.
Well, first of all, let me just say, if you paid $100, please get offended because you are a fucking idiot.
Pretty much. And there's a lot of people.
A week later, 2 weeks later, you got it for free on HBO.
I got it for free the very next morning.
I saw people posting it when it was on.
Yeah.
Go here, watch it for free, live streaming.
Yeah.
First of all, like, once you knew who won, why the fuck did you want to watch it anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, face facts. I would like to think that most of us really wanted to see Pacquiao whoop his ass. I know that's what I wanted to see.
I've gone on record and I've stated how that match is concerned. I've telling people, I was like, look, Pacquiao's going to go in there. He's going to whoop his ass. Mayweather's going to run around and dance. The judges are constantly going to give it to Mayweather. At the end of the fight, it's going to be Pacquiao physically took over Mayweather, but the judges are going to give it to Mayweather. That's exactly what's going to happen. And what happened? That is exactly what happened.
Yeah,
but, I mean, like you said, there's so much. Okay, the contract favored Mayweather in terms of he got to pick the judges.
Well, yeah,
he got to pick the ref.
That's why it took so long to get this to happen.
Yeah.
And they talk about, like, I watched this thing on a Pacquiao
All right.
a Pacquiao Mayweather thing on HBO, and they were talking about all the stipulations and how it's turned down. And they wanted to focus on drug testing.
Mm-hmm.
That there was the specific drug testing that Mayweather company that Mayweather wanted to use, and Pacquiao's camp just kept shooting it down and shit. So it was weird. I feel like almost like HBO is slightly in the Mayweather camp more than Pacquiao, because they're trying to spin it that, oh, well, obviously he must be on performance enhancers if he's not willing to take this test.
Right.
And I don't feel like Floyd is a fucking piece of shit. That guy couldn't fucking fight a real fucking fight if it stepped to his fucking face. The only opponent that guy can fight is a fucking woman. He's a bitch. I have no respect for that fucking man at all.
I agree.
The guy shouldn't be... This is the fucking... Like, this speaks volumes about the lack of morality in our fucking society when we're willing to place these asshole pieces of shit scumbag motherfuckers on untouchable pedestals.
How do you feel? How do you really feel?
Man, I'm laying it out there right now.
I see. Well, you know what? No, I agree with you 100%. And they released the police record of his son doing the the confession, not the confession, but the testimony. I seen him whooping on my mom, and we were gonna call the cops, and he threatened us, and his bodyguard blocked us, and all this other stuff. Like, dude, how do you have respect for somebody like? Oh, he's one of the greatest fighters,
right? These motherfuckers are like, Floyd is the man. He's the shit. Fucker. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Nah, that's like, what's his name? I don't remember his real name, but in UFC he went by War Machine.
No,
his fiance was Christy Mack, the porno actress, and he beat the dog shit out of her. He hospitalized her ass, and it's like people be like, oh well, he's a badass fighter. Well, yeah, he's beating on women. Ray Rice, was it Ray Rice?
Yeah.
In the elevator.
Yeah.
Knocked her cold out.
That's some bullshit.
Without it being provoked.
That's why, this is going to be random segue. I'm just mentioning. That's why I got respect for Jay-Z. I watched that motherfucker get pummeled by fucking Beyonce's little sister in an elevator, and that motherfucker didn't do shit.
Did you see the meme? Because he was at the fight. There was a meme of him. Yeah, there was all types of celebrities there. Dude, there's a meme of him. He's with mouth slightly open, like he's in awe of what he's watching. And the meme was Jay-Z sitting in the crowd remembering how Solange whooped his ass in the elevator. It's like, man, this reminds me of that. I'm dying, dude.
Props to that guy, dude.
Yeah. Because
you know what? That's how you should fucking play it.
But what the hell, if you want to go there, why didn't Beyonce even step in? She just stood there and watched
I don't... Because Solange must be fucking crazy.
Must be.
I feel like we just entered some fucking territory talking about fucking Beyonce and Solange.
But now, okay, so Pacquiao was saying, he had a injured shoulder.
He just didn't have surgery on it.
The Mayweather fans, now the excuses start. You want an excuse? Rewatch that match. Pacquiao was whooping his ass. He was throwing punches. Now people are like, no, Mayweather won. He had more punches. Okay, no. Mayweather may have landed more punches.
Mayweather landed more punches, but those punches weren't of substance.
Exactly.
There was no damage happening. It was like, oh, I touched you. And that motherfucker knows that's how you win fights.
Yeah.
I'll give that sleazy scumbag fucking woman beater that. Is he knows how to mark the system.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt that he picked the judges.
Fucking buster.
Those judges got paid, man.
Right?
But they're sitting there saying, if now fans who ordered this pay-per-view are sitting there saying that they're going to sue Pacquiao.
There's a class action lawsuit that's been started against Pacquiao.
Yeah, if you knew you were injured, why did you enter this fight? And you
that's just it. They knew.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that there was a lawyer that spoke... I think from the Nevada Athletic Commission, and he said that they knew.
Right.
That it was actually... He was greenlit to go ahead. There was a shot, just, I guess, to help with the movement and stuff.
Yeah.
That he was supposed to be allowed to get before the fight. And then, at the 0 hour, they said no.
Yeah. That's,
So, geez, I wonder why. That's why boxing sucks,
Did you watch the match? Did you watch it? Okay.
No.
There was a couple of times.
I heard there was a lot of hugging.
Yeah, it was almost like Mayweather was putting Pacquiao in a couple of headlocks. But there was a couple times where Pacquiao had Mayweather against the ropes, dude, and he's going to town. He's like body shots, and he would just stop. I'm going to have to get up and demonstrate this. But okay, so Mayweather's blocking, and he's against the ropes, can't go anywhere. Pacquiao's this. He stops, and then just kind of moves back and lets Mayweather come out of the corner. Why would you do that? And then every time he did it, he looked like he had this smirk on his face. So it's just he got him in there, and Mayweather would whisper something like, remember that $100 million you're getting? Just got to make it look good. That's what it felt like, because he did that a few times.
Yeah.
He just had him, and then he would just stop and back up and let him out. And I'm like, what are you doing? It just didn't make any sense.
So you felt like it was just bullshit.
It was all for the money, dude.
Yeah.
It was all for the money. Hey, look. I don't care how much publicity is going out there or whatever, but if you take and you disgrace my country's flag, dude, I'm throwing that rule book out the window. You can take a couple million back. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Fucking
because before the match, about a week or so before the fight, on Mayweather's website, he released a T-shirt of him wrapped in the Filipino flag, and it's sold out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's disrespectful, man. Nah, you don't do that. You know, and then I saw an interview with Mike Tyson. You know, another woman abuser, but I'm not a fan of women abuse. You know.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Unless provoked. If I got a female,
hey, if some woman comes out and is like trying to kill your ass, defend yourself.
Exactly.
There ain't nothing wrong with defending yourself, but beating the shit out of a woman, that's a different story.
I have an understanding with my girl, you know, and she's like, "Hey, we're not calling the cops. If I turn around and I punch you, I expect you to punch me back." You know, I'm like, I can't do that because I know how I am. I'm not gonna stop.
Right.
Like, oh, your leg is twitching. I think maybe now I should stop. You know, but it's one of those things where, okay, so Tyson, you know, the guy's proven himself. He is what he is in the boxing ring. I guess, see, it's one of those things where I'm not going to compare Mayweather and Tyson because Tyson has, like, he's stepped up to the fights where Mayweather dances around and tap. Like you said, he knows how to just land
and then he picks his opponents.
Right.
He don't step in the ring with someone that he thinks might be
right.
there.
At least Tyson, like, whatever he did in his personal life, okay, cool, it's still on a level with Mayweather. They're both assholes for it.
Right.
But Tyson never backed down from a boxing match.
It's because Tyson's a real fighter.
Exactly. So, Tyson comes on in an interview and they're like, "Oh, what do you think about Floyd Mayweather?" And he's just like, he's not a real champ. He's like, the guy can't take his kids to school by himself because he's got his bodyguards. He's like, he can't do this, he can't do that because he's always with his bodyguards. He can't. Because I guess Mayweather came out and said that he was
Why don't you
better.
sit down?
Because now I'm into it, dude. Like Mayweather.
You're all standing like it's an open mic night and shit.
Yeah, right. Like I'm on stage. So no, he came out and said that he was better than Muhammad Ali. And Tyson was like, "Nah, man. Muhammad Ali was the people's champ. Muhammad Ali can go walk down the street, take his kids to school. He can go walk down the street to the grocery store. He can go hang out at a park. Mayweather can't do none of that stuff because somebody's going to step up to him and he's got his bodyguards with him. He's like, you're not a man. He's like, Mayweather's not a man. He's not a man. He's like, he's a fighter, but he's not a man. You know, and I was like, that's right, Mike, you tell his ass. You know?
Fucking Tyson, man.
You know, dude, best Tyson moment, I think it was a Doritos commercial last Super Bowl, where he returns Evander Holyfield's ear. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Evander. That was great, dude. I think I'm going to sit down now.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem, I think, with all of this is, like, all the controversy that spun out of that fight. Because now you know there's going to be another one.
Yeah, and that's another thing I said. You know there's going to be a rematch. Because they were hyping this as the last, super fight for the foreseeable future. Because it takes time to build up these contenders.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, if it's the last one, quote unquote, why are you just going to let that money slip? Of course you do something with a planned rematch. You made the money once, okay, we're done. We'll just wait.
That's another thing that kind of makes Floyd look like a bitch, right? Is that per the standard of the contract, if Pacquiao would have won, there would be a rematch. But because Floyd won, there is no rematch.
Right.
Doesn't that kind of make him look like a bitch?
Oh, yeah. Like,
it's good enough for him, but it's not... That's bullshit, man. You got no fucking balls. It really disappoints me that WWE let him fucking whoop Big Show.
I was reading, or not reading, but I think it was on the network. I think it was on Big Show's documentary, if I'm not mistaken, where they talked about the incident where he gets on his knees in the ring and Mayweather breaks his nose. Says that was obviously legit, because as soon as he punched him, that blood started pouring out. That wasn't a work. But he said that he knew, like, Mayweather was supposed to just kind of graze him, but he went and did that, and it pissed Big Show off. So when Floyd took off, the way he did through the crowd, that was legit because he saw that he fucked up. And Big Show got up, and when he chased him, he said if Shane wouldn't have stopped him and he got a hold of Mayweather, they would have had to pull his ass off because he wouldn't have fucking stopped.
That's fucking awesome.
He said he was pissed. He was like, because that was not...
scrawny piece
he
of
was
shit.
not supposed to do that. He was supposed to graze him like back here or something, or just make it look, and he said he fucking went to time, busted his nose. He said he pissed him off because that wasn't how they were supposed to go down with it. And Shane had to be the voice of reason.
Fucking...
They said they talked him over. So when the actual WrestleMania match came around, they were both like level-headed again and stuff. But for that night, it was like, nah, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that like they would have given that shit to.
And then another thing I don't like about Mayweather, yeah, we know the guy's got money. Why does he have to throw it in everybody's face? Post photos. Oh, this is my stack. This is this. He's got picture. He showed up. He posted a picture of him with the duffel bag full of the money he got from that fight. Like, come on, man.
I don't know. I'm afraid to say something that could come off wrong or be misconstrued. I'm not going to say anything. The guy's an asshole.
So back to wrestling.
But back to wrestling.
What's up with all these... another segue. Speaking of Pacquiao's injury, here we got NXT injuries. What's up with all these NXT injuries lately, man?
Dude.
Sami Zayn... I think I said a couple weeks ago, Sami Zayn can be the next Daniel Bryan in terms of like the way he relates with the fans. Mm-hmm. Now I'm starting to see that more and more because Sami Zayn has been a lot more injury prone lately.
Yeah.
Just like Daniel Bryan. Like, come on, man.
It's because I think they're going for it, man. Like, I think they're... Like, you know how Vince on Stone Cold's podcast said that there's not enough guys going for the brass ring? I think them NXT dudes are fucking going for it.
Yeah.
But they're going for it too hard. They're like... You want to give your 100%. You know, you want to give your all. But there's a time and place to give it. And... Yeah, you want to show that you could be good on the big roster. I feel like these guys are just going at it too hard, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like with the industry of wrestling, you kind of don't have a choice.
And then Hideo Itami is out injured 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months, man.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It's like, when's Daniel Bryan going to be back? There's nothing on when he's going to be back.
Yeah, they don't know. They have absolutely no idea. But you know what? All these injuries creates more space for some guys. Stars. Yeah, but they won't do it. What they'll do is give more time to guys like Randy Orton and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It's like they already own the first almost hour of Monday Night Raw. Why are you going to put them in the last segment as well? You know, like, come on.
Yeah, it's you know, they've done a fantastic job of pushing what's his face? Damn, I forgot his name now. The little British guy. I never forget his name. Neville. Adrian Neville. I don't know. No disrespect to Adrian Neville. My mind sucks, and I don't ever remember his names like as quickly as I should. Good job with him. You know, down in NXT, like especially now that there's this news that Bubba Ray or Bully Ray, as he's known in TNA, might be coming to NXT. Like, why?
Probably as a trainer.
Like, do you think that's what it'll be? Because I still question why Rhino is there. Like, not that I said this last week. It's not that I don't like him. And yeah, I see that it's helping those guys, but how is it helping them guys when he's just fucking destroying people?
True. But you got to look at it. A great heel makes the face look that much better. So let's say Rhino's destroying people and he's doing it as a heel. Or Bully Ray comes in and he starts destroying these NXT guys as a heel. Yeah, it's going to get him heat. But then when that payoff comes, where that baby face that's been destroyed so many times finally gets that up and coming, it makes him look that much more better. And you get the sympathy card for the baby face. You know?
And now they're setting up a feud between Rhino. Rhino called out Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Why? Baron Corbin's not really a face.
Right. Maybe they're trying to make him one.
I don't really see that working for him.
Well, because people are cheering Baron Corbin, though. He's
totally.
That's why.
It's kind of like the Stone Cold thing.
Yeah.
He's a face, but he's not really a face.
Yeah, so it's like it's the fans predicting it. So if Rhino's going to come out and call him out, you know, it's like, all right, well, the fans want him as a face, so we're going to make him a face without actually turning him, you know? It's just how it's being perceived.
Now, you had said something to me about Owen Hart.
Yes. So, Wrestling DVD News, I believe is the website, released the information that the WWE is now starting to work on an Owen Hart documentary.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, it's supposed to cover everything, you know. Supposedly the whole Hart family is behind it.
Really?
Yeah. Martha Hart, the widow of Owen, has come out and said, the Hart family may be behind it, but me and my children are not. She's like, we didn't sign off on this, you know. So it looks like she's gonna try to possibly halt this from happening, as she's halted everything for like the last 16 years. But it's also been said that if the WWE has managed to go this far without exploiting him, why all of a sudden now, you know, like, well, you know, as a fan myself, Yeah, I'd like to see a proper documentary done about Owen Hart. They owe it to us, you know. And it's like it's and that's us watching this documentary in a way, paying tribute to the work that Owen has done in the hours he's entertained.
No, absolutely.
You know, she doesn't want his face and name to be exploited, which I understand as well. But it's just like I guess if it's done with class, you know, I mean, everybody. Look at Brett. I mean, yeah, obviously nothing was as extreme as having your husband die. But at the same time, it wasn't like WWE went up there and said, hey, go do that. You know, it was an accident.
Yeah.
You know, accidents happen. That's just the way it is. Vince Russo has come out and said, you know, he's given the story, you know, of Owen Hart and that morning. And Vince, it wasn't his, it was Owen's idea. You know what I mean? And they got these new guys in. These are the same guys who, you know, repel Sting when Sting would come down from the rafters in WCW. So these guys came with, you know, a reputation already behind them. So obviously nobody ever thinks the worst. You know, nobody does that. So it's just, it was an unfortunate accident. You know, and it's just like, it's a way for them, for the company, I believe, to celebrate what Owen Hart was. Like, going back to kind of like the Chris Benoit thing. You know, none of us were there.
Right.
You know, we just know what the media told us. The guy killed his family, then killed himself. You know, yeah, it sucks to kill your family, obviously. But when you sit back and look at Chris Benoit, the wrestler, you know, the guy put in a lot of work, and there's a lot of entertainment. Now, before the Floyd Mayweather fans get out here and say, hey, well, you know, you can't, if you're going to separate Benoit's personal life from his professional life, no, because we talked about that. Mayweather is like, he doesn't, you know, the contenders are picked for him most of the time, you know, and like you said, he knows how to work the judges and stuff like that. He knows, but the guy can't, you know, he's not a real fighter. That's not the case for Chris Benoit. You know, yeah, it's very tragic what happened, you know. However, whatever point of view, it's tragic he killed himself. It's tragic he killed his family. Some people say, yeah, he's a piece of shit after killing his family. You should kill yourself, you know. But like I said, none of us were there. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable condemning Chris Benoit to that, especially after, like, as much as I've watched and hearing other guys talk about him. And, like, to me, it feels like the guy obviously had issues. You know, they don't exactly medically know, like, how much trauma and the effect of concussion can be to your brain. Who's to say that this man hadn't had too many concussions and it just fucked with his head somehow, and he was chemically off balance and his brain wasn't functioning properly, and he just, you know, fucking horrible things happened.
Couldn't help what happened, and then once, like, he did it, maybe realized.
I mean, that's like, this is what, I can't believe I'm going to use this to segue into this, but I got to bring it up. This is what disappoints me about society and mental illness, is that people scoff at it. Until someone like, oh my God, Robin Williams. Okay, Robin Williams kills himself. Oh, poor Robin Williams. But where's the sympathy for people that aren't millionaires that live with this stuff every day? Like the common people, or people, or this, like, there's no sympathy for people on this stuff. There's no, it's just like, it's written off like, oh, well, everybody has problems. And I think that's bullshit. You know, as a person who's suffered from things like that myself, to just write it off and stuff, it's just kind of, because you can't really judge Chris Benoit because you don't know what he was going through. Right. Maybe the guy had mental issues that will never, and he just snapped. And it is an unfortunate and tragic thing. But to call him a piece of shit is unfounded. Because his character, from testimonies of people that knew him personally, would say differently. Right. From the character testimony of Floyd Mayweather is a piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, when you have, if Chris Benoit, if there would have been documents of him beating his wife on a regular basis, I could with no doubt sit here and say, yes, Chris Benoit is a piece of shit.
Okay, so saying that, what about Stone Cold? Because it's noted that he beat up Deborah.
Yeah, and that sucks. Because that took a little bit of that sheen Stone Cold away from me. I'm still a fan, but at the same time, makes him a little less of a man.
So now you're not a fan of him. You're a fan of the character.
I'm a fan of the character, not the man. Right. Because it's just not cool, man. It's just not. Right. Like, unless I mean, we all make stupid fucking mistakes, and you make a mistake once, you don't, you get pissed off in the heat of the moment, and you fucking accidentally slap your old lady, and it's like, it never happens again because it makes you feel like the worst piece of shit in the world.
Right.
And you never forgive yourself. You don't beat your woman until she's got to go, that fucking shit's just, there's a line, man.
Yeah.
And, some people cross it and you fucking realize you fucked up and you can never take that shit back and you own it and you make sure to never make that mistake again, and then you're fucking Floyd Mayweather. It's two different sides of the fucking same coin.
Right.
But, I mean, it's a shame, man, because when I heard that, I was like, fuck. Really liked Steve Austin. And now, I like him that much less.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Now he is just a fucking stupid redneck.
So now on the wrestling boards, everybody's like, this means we may get an Owen Hart figure finally. Like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind having an Owen Hart figure, but my collection is not going to fall apart because I don't have one.
Yeah, right?
Like, there's a lot of hardcore toy collectors out there with the Mattel line. They're like, we have to have an Owen Hart figure to complete our Hart Foundation and blah, blah, blah. Like, it is what it is, man.
I can understand where his wife's coming from. Like, it was a terrible experience. You don't want to have to relive it. But at the same time, like, if it's done with some class and some integrity, and it's more about, like, lifting him up.
Yeah.
And, celebrating who he was and what he brought to the industry, then I don't see there a problem with it. And now if they do any asshole stuff, which I don't see that as being WWE anymore, like the days of that Ultimate Warrior movie that no one could get anymore.
Self-destruction.
The Self-Destruction
I own
Warrior, which I so want to see so bad.
You've never seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
I've got to bring it next week.
You've got to bring it. I've got to borrow it.
Yeah.
Those days are over because even they mended that fence.
Yeah.
And we've got a great tribute to a guy, no matter the harsh feelings of the past. And they've done, like, that's the one thing I got to give WWE, like, huge amounts of credit on, is, like, how good they are to, like, some of their stars, I guess. It's most of the... And that's conflicting, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like they did so much for Warrior, and, I follow his wife on Facebook, and she constantly talks about all the great things that they do for her and her kids.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like, wow, there are good people there, But at the same time, there's some other things that you're kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
Triple H likes Floyd Mayweather. What the fuck's up with that?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's
probably been our best episode of the lockup.
You think so?
I could sit there and say that. Yeah.
Honestly, that whole dude, a lot of heartfelt emotion and hatred towards Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, right. But going back to the Owen Hart thing, it's like, his death obviously affected his entire family, not just his wife and kids. I mean, they probably felt it the most. The kids no longer have a dad; she no longer has a husband. But obviously, it affected the rest of the family as well. Mm-hmm. Brett was upset because he was in WCW when it happened. But if the rest of the family has been at peace with it, even Brett came back to WWE. What is it that is making Martha Hart hold out so much?
Maybe she's just still, because as much as like you can have Vince Russo come out and say that this wasn't Vince's idea, and because he's not in good with them right now, is he?
No.
So even though it makes it look more credible because he's not in the WWE camp any longer, for him to say something, because what loyalty does he owe to them to say that?
Especially after the reason he left WWE in the first place.
Yeah, if it's not true. Maybe she still holds some resentment towards WWE for putting him in that position.
But they didn't. That's the thing.
Well, but maybe she feels that way.
Right.
And you can't really, no matter what you say, or you can't ever fucking change how someone feels about shit.
Yeah.
They're going to feel about that shit no matter,
Unless they feel like
even if you hit them in the face with so much fucking truth and evidence that it's just irrefutable,
right?
People feel what they're going to feel regardless.
Yeah.
And, hopefully she gets over it and she stops it and she lets them, do a good tribute.
Yeah.
And then her kids who haven't got to know their father will see who he was and what he meant.
Very true.
Because I feel like that's what Warriors girls have gotten to see. They
Yeah.
only got to know their fathers a small part of their life, but they see how much he touched people.
Yeah.
And what, like, dude, I feel emotional just talking about that guy.
It's just, I think that was probably one of the most eerie.
Oh my God, his
instances.
speech on Raw, woo!
The Hall of Fame speech. Yeah, then the Raw speech. And then he dies the next day.
Yeah, right?
It's like
what?
that weekend came about to give him closure. You know what I'm saying? And then he was gone.
Right?
Like, that is one of the most eerie things.
It's like karma fixed that just in time for him to do what he needed to do before he was done.
Like with when it comes to celebrity deaths and all that stuff, it's always tragic when somebody passes away. In recent memory, I've only cried once when a celebrity passed away, and that was Eddie Guerrero. Dude, I bawled my eyes out. But when I found out Ultimate Warrior passed, dude, that was the second time. And I don't think it was because of the Warrior himself. I think it was the circumstances, like we just said, with the whole weekend and everything. Who was invested in WrestleMania 30?
Yeah,
everybody was into that.
If you wouldn't have gotten that induction speech and
the closure weekend and the Raw
speech, would it have been as impactful to you as it was? And
right.
I don't think so.
No, me neither.
I think
that's what I'm saying. I think it was the circumstances.
Honestly, him coming back and all that, opened up this whole part of my memory that I had forgotten. And it brought back feelings of watching that stuff as a kid, things that just were buried in your mind that you don't remember.
Right.
And I think that had that not happened and he died, I'd have been like, oh man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But instead, I was like,
wow.
Yeah. I was emotionally impacted by it.
Yeah.
Whereas I wasn't just like, man, that sucks. When Macho Man sucked, I fucking love Macho Man.
When he sucked.
But he died.
Let's get this straight.
When Macho Man died, that sucked.
No, that's another. You know what? That's another one that made me bawl.
Even when he was in WCW, he never sucked.
Huge Macho Man mark. He was another one that when he passed, I was just like, are you kidding me? Dude, I was saddened, but I think that was the only one I've ever felt anger over. Why did the Macho Man die? No,
What was so weird is, getting in a car accident and having a heart attack on the side of the road. He had a heart attack, and that's why he got in a car accident,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Man, it's just messed up. It's the fucking roids, dude.
I have to compare it because I listened to rap music. I don't listen to it as much anymore. But Bone Thugs and Harmony, they had this mystique about them. They worked with Eazy-E. He passed away. They worked with Biggie. He passed away. They worked with Pac. He passed away. Crazy Bone worked with Big Pun. He passed away. And it's like, wow. I remember in the rap, as a younger guy, I was like, that's fucking creepy. Everybody who works with Bone passes away. Holy crap. And the only reason I bring that up is because Hulk Hogan, he made his peace with the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior passes away. Supposedly he made his peace a week before Macho Man passed at a doctor's office with the Macho Man. He passed away. It's I don't know, man. Hogan is, if you ever seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Hogan is the cheese touch. For those who've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. I have to school.
Maybe that's how he's the immortal. Maybe he's sucking the life force away from these guys.
Well, I guess I'll explain it to the ones who are listening and don't know. In the movie Diary of a Wimpy Kid, on the playground, there is a moldy piece of cheese stuck to the concrete. No one knows how long it's been there. It's just there. So, the kid gets the guts and he decides to touch the cheese, and he touches somebody else with it, and they're like, the whole school's like, oh my god, he's got the cheese touch. It's this taboo thing. So that's the Hogan, dude, he's the cheese touch. You stay away from the cheese touch. It's there, but you stay away from it. It's really, really weird. But I thought I was weird. I was like, okay, Hogan had beef with the Warrior, but that was recorded that when they settled that.
Yeah.
And I remember reading, Hogan saying that he was bored, and him and Nick, they had somebody take him around on a golf cart in the stadium, and Hogan was told to stay away from the Warrior by WWE officials because they didn't know how he was going to react and they wanted Warrior to have a great weekend. You know, and he didn't. Right. So they're just like, just stay away
I remember seeing that.
And, you know, he said, you know what? There he is. I'm just going to say my piece. So he said he gets up, and as he gets up, he says he didn't know that WWE was filming the Warrior all weekend for the documentary. So he said when he got off the cart and started walking towards Warriors when he saw the cameras. You know, and he's just like, and there have been some people who said, well, yeah, Hogan saw the camera, so that's why he took it as an opportunity, because he knew it was going to be recorded.
Right.
Where Hogan's side of it is, he's like, I didn't know they were shooting the thing, and I started talking. You know, I saw him and I started approaching him as the camera came around. You know. And then with the Macho Man, you know, supposedly Macho Man took his mother to the doctor while Hogan was at the doctor. And they ran into each other. You know, they talked and they settled stuff. And I think Macho Man invited him over for a barbecue. And Macho Man had left. And the story, I don't know if you've seen the Macho Man DVD that was recently released.
Yeah, I want to see it.
That's another great one. I cried at that one. You know he's from Illinois?
Really?
He's from Des Plaines.
Really?
Yep. So his mom still lives there.
Wow.
But that's another one where supposedly at the doctor's office they hashed it out, and Macho Man invited him over for a barbecue. So when Hogan goes in there after Macho Man's mother's appointment, because it was for her heart, the doctor said, because supposedly Hogan was getting there to see the doctor for the same reason Macho Man's mother was there. And they said the doctor told Macho Man that he wanted to run the same test on him because to see if it goes, like if it's hereditary.
Right.
And it was supposed to be like a 10-minute test or something. And Macho Man's like, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time. And supposedly the doctor had told Hogan after that he passed, had Macho Man taken that test, they probably could have saw what happened and they probably could have saved him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But this is out of Hogan's mouth. There's no cameras there to prove that, obviously. So it's just one of those things.
So that could just be like Hogan just talking out of his ass just to look good. As I feel like Hogan's prone to do.
I was gonna say I've heard him try to do that. Supposedly he's told Vince he's training. He wants his retirement match at WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Austin has come out and said WrestleMania 32 I'll be there, but I can't announce what I'm doing yet. I hope it's not some crappy guest referee role or he's hosting WrestleMania. Like, nah, man. Austin deserves the go away match. Yeah. Now here's the thing: who does he fight?
Dude,
you're booking. Okay, here you go. You're booking Austin at WrestleMania 32, and you're booking Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 32.
I don't want to see Austin wrestle Hogan.
No, not them two. I'm saying you're booking because each of them want to, or you know, Stone Cold has come out and said he's going to be at WrestleMania 32. Mm-hmm. Hogan says he's talked to Vince and he wants his retirement match at WrestleMania 32. So you're booking two separate matches now. Who do you put, first of all, Hogan with at WrestleMania 32 in a retirement match? Who does Hogan fight? Who does it make sense for him to fight?
I don't know. You got someone in mind, obviously.
No, I really don't.
I couldn't say. I honestly...
You know who I'd like to see Hogan fight? Because it never happened in WWE like it was supposed to, and when it happened in WCW, nobody gave a shit. Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. I wouldn't mind the two geriatrics going at it.
Yeah, that would
only
be
because Flair is that guy that no matter how old he is, he's the Terry Funk dude. He's gonna put on a show.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
He's probably carry Hogan.
Flair, yeah, I was just gonna say he's gonna have to carry Hogan. Exactly.
I would like to see Austin and Sting, honestly.
Really? Nah,
because
man.
as much as Triple H Sting was touted as like, you know, the fucking Monday Night Wars, and dude, I feel like at the time, like Monday Night Wars, Stone Cold was bigger than Triple H.
Oh, of course.
So I feel like that would be the match.
Nah, I don't want to see that. You know, they're gonna probably do one of those things where they give it to John Cena versus Austin or something. You know, if Punk was still with the company, it probably would have been Punk versus Austin, which is the one everybody wanted to see. But I can see them going the route with Cena, maybe Orton versus Austin. Maybe Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think, speaking of Punk, that's someone I think that needs to just keep his fucking mouth shut. Because the longer that guy's away, and the more he talks, the more he's losing fans.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I had a talk with him, myself, at C2E2. Very brief conversation. I won't get into why it's not recorded. I won't get into any of that other stuff. But I would just say I agree with you.
You've lost respect for him, right? He was one of your favorite dudes. He was your dude.
I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even.
And you've kind of lost respect for him.
We're running out of time, and I'm not even going to get into it.
On the last note, I just wanted to wrap this up here. What do you think about their speculation that the reason that AJ Lee retired was because a WWE affiliated doctor is suing CM Punk?
I could see that. I could totally see. I didn't hear that, but I could totally see.
You haven't heard that yet? Yeah,
I could totally see that. But if you want to really, since we're on the subject of CM Punk, have you seen his the snippet that came out from the interview he did for C2E2 at the Q&A, where he's ripping JDF?
Yeah, no, I
haven't.
haven't. I've kind of avoided it because I know it's probably just going to piss me off more. And I'm one of those people that was like a late Punk convert, and then I like put him on a pedestal, and now he's just coming crashing down.
I honestly think that
I want to see that fight. And if Dana White was smart, he would book that shit.
Yeah, he would, but
I mean, fuck it. Give JDF a fucking one-night contract just for the one fight.
You know, that would be good. That really would.
All right.
So, yeah, Dana White, I agree with you. He should book that. But I think right now he's a little bit busy with the Ronda Rousey WrestleMania 32 situation. But since you haven't heard it, dude, I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. At C2E2, 2-3 weeks ago now, CM Punk did a Q&A session. Okay? When asked about JDF, this is what happened.
A little bit over the past couple of years, once you announced that you were going to be a UFC fighter and you were starting to train, that the Green Ranger has been egging you on. Do you think there's any chance in the future that you and Jason could end up fighting?
Were you paying attention when the other guy asked that question?
I got here a little late.
Oh, it's okay. No. It's such a double-edged sword answering this question because this is a guy that is constantly chirping at me on social media but refuses to put my Twitter name in the thing, so I would never see them anyway. And I get what he's doing. It'd be like right now if I went after the guy who what's the actor's name who plays Green Arrow? Yeah, it's like if I went after him and I was just like, yo, I should be Casey Jones. Yo, I should be Casey Jones. Hey, do you think I should be Casey Jones? I should be Casey Jones, right? You like me. I should be Casey Jones. Hey, should I be Casey Jones, guys? Who in here thinks I should be Casey Jones? It's like, shut the fuck up.
That's exactly what I want to say to him every time.
He's not going to stop. You know, I get it. I've had stalkers before. It's just fucking... It's just fucking old.
But that's why you can't worry about what other people are doing.
And I don't.
And that's what we love about you.
And we just gave him 6 more months of relevancy. So there you go.
Thank you. Hey.
So that was the clip from C2E2 2015. Obviously self-explanatory there. So of course fans, JDF fans, go on his social media and they post the clip and it says, dude, how do you respond to this? Very brief, but...
Look at this Rita doll. This is awesome. Thank you for that. It's going on my shelf. Oh, CM, I have a response to your C2E2 panel. It's coming soon. Stand by. You say I never tag you, so I'm tagging you a few times. Rita, yeah.
Very brief, but we do now know that he's heard it. And, you know, JDF fans should sit back and expect a proper response. And I just look at it as, you know what, man, you can't really sit here and say, well, CM Punk isn't a legit fighter because he's training to be one, but JDF has the background. You know, JDF has proven he's a badass. You know, yeah, he was a Power Ranger. Big whoop. If you really want to go there, wrestling, yes, is choreographed. So it's like, you know, hey, WWE wrestlers, or, you know, and this is not a knock towards any wrestler. They're in a way, they're stuntmen. You know, they're portraying characters who fight. Whereas that's what JDF did. The only difference is it was targeted for a children's show. WWE is technically not all ages, but they target children. Almost the same thing. You get what I'm saying, right?
No, totally.
So it's just like, well, you know what, man? Why, if you know JDF has been egging you on, you know, and it's about, why don't you respond? Oh, he's never tagged me in the post. Is that all it takes? You just need him to tag you, even though you know it's there? You know? Like, why not?
I got, honestly, 2 words that come to mind about
Suck
the whole
it!
thing. Pompous ass.
You know?
Pompous ass.
Now, here's another thing. What happens when, and it will happen, JDF and CM Punk end up at the same convention together. And JDF says, you know what? He's here. I'm going to walk up to him. Then what happens? Do they keep it civil? Does Punk give him a smart aleck remark that JDF says, you know what? You know, and the fight, because we all know JDF is very, very, very fan friendly.
Yeah.
You know, what happens if Punk says something and JDF is like, you know what? In the heat of the moment, he gets in Punk's face. Will Punk retaliate? Will he, you know, put up or shut up? Or is he gonna? It's gonna be one of those situations where he just kind of backs up and he's just like, "Whoa, hey, you know, we're at a convention, blah blah blah."
Oh, I'm sure he'll just back up. I'm sure he'll be like, "Oh, it's just for entertainment."
Yeah, and then what happens after? Because you know when that happens, social media is gonna blow up.
Oh yeah, and then Dana White's got to jump on that shit.
But he won't.
You don't think so?
I don't think he will.
You think it's because he doesn't want to sign JDF?
You know, you could sign him for one fight. And I'm sure JDF would be the type of guy, like, do it, I'll do it for free.
Right? I'm sure he would.
You know, like, but...
And ticket sales, man.
Unbelievable. But then here's the thing. You get the... I mean, unbelievable for people like us.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get the outside guys who are already looking at it like CM Punk or another wrestler coming to the UFC. He ain't nothing. Oh, and they're gonna make us pay for this pay-per-view where this has-been wrestler is fighting a damn Power Ranger, but they don't know the background for JDF. They're gonna be like, I ain't buying this garbage. Now, I will say...
That's why you promote it.
Yeah. I will say, though, that when Punk does make his UFC debut, I will watch it. I'm very interested. I'm very interested.
I think he's gonna lose. Unless they, you know...
They Floyd Mayweather it?
Yeah.
They Floyd Mayweather it? Oh, don't worry, Punk. We take care of you. Well, this has been probably, like I said, my favorite episode of the Lockup that we've done.
Nice.
Yeah.
5, we're hitting our stride.
Finally. We're a lot sooner than we did for Spinner Rack.
Yeah.
Or for breaking the fourth wall, I should say.
It's good stuff, man. Well, that...
I gotta pee.
You gotta pee?
I gotta pee real bad.
Well, I guess that wraps everything for this week's Lockup. Join us back next week and we'll, you know, talk... more goodness now that we've got that Mayweather Pacquiao out of our system.
Oh, sure.
And maybe something exciting will happen. We'll catch up on what's been going on in Raw and SmackDown and get prepped up for that pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. So everything we do, comicsremix.com.
Questions,
Facebook.
concerns, comments. You can comment on the YouTube. You can comment. You can email us directly. Junior at Comics Remix, Alex at Comics Remix, Brian at Comics Remix, all.com. So, I mean...
Follow us at Twitter, at Comics Remixed, at Spinnerack.
Facebook us, Instagram us. Spread the word, people. We can't get big unless you help us. And that's one thing that bothers me when we try to get interviews, you know? Kind of talking about something I said I wasn't going to talk about without actually saying a name.
Because we're nobody?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we're unknowns?
I get it, but it bothers me.
No, I understand. You know what, though? This is the thing.
You're an unknown person. I'm not going to give you the time of day.
There's one thing that we've always... I feel like you've always promoted, and I've promoted since I've come aboard Comics Remixed. We are fans. We are a fan show for fans by fans.
Correct.
You know, absolutely, we're not trying to be anybody but just regular Joes talking about the thing we all love.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if somebody came up to us and be like, hey, we like what you do, we're going to make it. Because I always, like, my, kind of going off subject, but since we're on it, my ultimate vision for what Comics Remixed is, I always tell people it's a mix between comic book men and the Talking Dead. If somebody were to come up to us and be like, you know what, you guys got some sass, you guys are pretty good, I'd like to put you on a radio show, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, totally.
Work at a radio station. But if somebody came up to us and says, you know, we're going to do something kind of similar to the Talking Dead mixed with, you know, like not the Tonight Show, but any one of those late night talk shows where they got the desk and you have your guest, I would love that. That's what I've always envisioned it. But pure because we're fans, not something that some network is like, you know what, comic books are hot. We're going to get some guy that we think knows comics and we're going to manufacture everything. No. Do it like as a fan. Like, this is a genuine fan interviewing people.
Right.
Because I am a fan first and I'm doing it for the fans. Right. Not anybody to bow down to.
It's not like someone they just pick up off the street and you're going to go interview these comic
book guys. You got an Iron Man t-shirt. Yeah. I found you at a gas station. Totally, you could be our you could totally be our host for this
Right.
thing we've got. Like, nah, it's not pure that way, you know. And that's something I've always envisioned Comics Remix to be, you know, like, because when I started the whole idea, it was I approached David and I says, dude, I've tried to watch other people's shows. I've tried to listen to other people's podcasts. I'm not feeling genuine with it, you know. I don't know if it's because I'm not part of it, but I'm also I write better more than I speak. You know, it's really weird how that goes, but I've always had like a passion for the entertainment aspect. Like, I like to. You could tell because you know me, so you know my personality.
Totally.
Like, if we're hanging out, like.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
It's all about charisma.
Yes, thank you.
And some people got no fucking charisma.
None
it's just like, this week I'm going to talk about Thor number 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Thor number 7, where I'm like, man, fuck Thor number 7.
It still contains 2 staples in the spine. Cover price $3.99.
Yeah, it's just like,
nah, man.
It's like, where's your heart and your soul?
You break it down. You
gotta give more than that.
Yeah, like. I always looked at it as this is a conversation that we would have back at the shop. Mm-hmm. And there's been times, I know you've been there, when I've said, you know, when there's a couple people at the counter and we're sitting there talking, I says, why don't we have a microphone? Because this is a conversation that you like to revisit. Because there's times where you talk about something and you're like, man, this is such a passionate conversation. That
I have re-listened to shows and laughed at shit that we've said, things that I've said that I forgot I said.
Yeah.
You know, or been reinformed of point of views I had on stuff that I might not have remembered. It's, you know...
So this is something I'm asking the fans. Like, if you're listening to this, you know, and you feel, you know what, you are entertained by us in some way, shape, or form, please help spread the word.
Yeah,
Share the post. Tell somebody about it. I know there are fans out there who do tell people, and we thank you for that.
Communicate with us. We appreciate that.
It's just, you know, like, we can't bring fans, you know, like, we can't do this for the fans if nobody's there, because then we just look like chumps. Yeah. You know, and I hate to say it, but there's some videos that we've posted, dude, they've got like 5 views. You know, and it's just like, man, that sucks.
It does suck.
You know, and like I was talking to the IT guy who shall remain nameless, that's helping us with the website. I was talking to him yesterday, and he brought up a good point. He says, you guys have the content. You guys just don't have
the audience,
like the audience to see it. Because, I mean, if you sit back and if you look at Comics Remix as a whole, the opportunities we've had and the people we've talked to, you know, we've had Mark Wade guest on the show in 2 episodes. On 2 episodes. We've had Art Baltazar. We've talked to Jason David Frank. We've talked to Jerry the King Lawler. We've talked to some great people, you know, and it's just like, man, we talked to the Toy Hunter, and, you know, that established an entirely different off-camera relationship, you know, that I'm not going to get into, but it's just those kinds of opportunities. Like, they're there, but it's just like, gotta grab that brass ring.
Right. We're reaching for it. We're reaching for it.
Anyways,
as always, Comics Remixed, your local nerd station. Keep your pimp hands strong.
Unless you're Floyd Mayweather.
You're just a bitch.
Pretty
He's
much.
keeping that bitch hand strong.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.